Hi, I'm Rich Chrisman. Several weeks ago, myself and many of my fellow CASE employees had an opportunity to visit with literally tens of thousands of farmers at the 1993 Farm Progress Show, which was held in Amana, Iowa. Now, our reason for going to this show was really quite simple. First and foremost, it was to highlight not only the product, but also the people who represent Case IH out there in the marketplace. How do we do this? Well, first we had an exhibit area. An exhibit area that had over 35 different models of Case International product. Models representing our tractor line, our planters, our combines, our hay and forage, our tillage, and we even had a cotton picker there for all those good cotton farmers in Iowa, and also, more importantly, for some of our international visitors. We also did an arena show, and this gave us an opportunity for a little more one-on-one time with many of our customers. And we could go into more detail on some of our products, such as the Combine, the 9250 Row Crop Special, and a chance to introduce the all-new 7200 Magnum tractor. And it was an outstanding event. We also had a second objective, and that was to make sure that Case IH was positioned as the leader in the market, not only for today, but also into the future. Because our products are the ones the competition is measured against. But into the future, we always need to keep making improvements. And to do that, we showed some concept vehicles. Now, I recognize that many of you did not have an opportunity to get to the 1993 Farm Progress Show, so we're going to bring a little bit of it to you. We're going to put some progress back into the Farm Progress Show. So right now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the 1993 Farm Progress Show. Good afternoon. Have you started to warm up a little bit? No, not yet? Well, I'll tell you, I just love that little 1840 uniloader, because not only is it a productive piece of equipment for your farm, but with that smooth track setup, it's also fun to drive. My name is Rich Chrisman, and on behalf of the entire CASE organization, we'd like to welcome you to the 93 Farm Progress Show, and in particular our product presentation today. We really do appreciate you taking time to be with us, and we're going to do everything we can to make it time well spent for you. For us, it's great to be here in Hawkeye country. You know, it's country where the land is rich, the crops are abundant, and more than one patch of land has been turned into a field of dreams. It just doesn't get any better than this. And speaking of dreams, you know, they come in many shapes and sizes. And most of us are influenced by our dreams or dreams of others. 150 years ago, Jerome Increase Case had a dream. His dream was to take the threshing machine and improve it. Now, he knew that wouldn't be easy, but he persevered and he succeeded. Cyrus McCormick had similar dreams about looking at ways to improve farming for the American farmer. Well, what they did, both of them, was they talked to farmers. They listened. They heard what you had to say, because they understood if they're going to improve a product, they have to start by talking to the people who use the product. And that's what this Farm Progress Show is all about. Because a century and a half later, we're still doing the same things. We're listening. We hear you. And you will see some great products today. Products that feature the newest in design techniques and also manufacturing technology. Machines that are more productive, more reliable, more durable, so that you can put to work on your farms and improve your operations. Now, I'm pleased that everyone you'll hear from today is a CASE employee. We're not professional actors nor professional speakers hired to come here and talk to you. We're here because we want to be close. We want to be close to the products we make, to our dealer organization, and most importantly, close to you, our customers and potential customers. We've got farming in our blood. Most of us come right here from the Midwest. We know firsthand both the problems and the opportunities that you face on your farming operations. We understand that sometimes your dreams are fragile and need rebuilding, such as after this year's flooding. What case, we've also done some rebuilding of our own this year. And we've done it by focusing on our key strengths of our products and our dealer organization. Because we went out and talked to Iowa farmers. We talked to farmers across the Midwest, and in fact, across all of North America, and asked them what we could do to make them more profitable and more successful in the future. And you told us a couple of very simple things. Keep bringing out great performing products. Make sure they're reliable, make sure they're durable, and make sure they're backed up by a great dealer organization. And those are some of the things we'll talk about today. So to help kick off the show, it's my pleasure to introduce the world's most productive combine, the Axial-Flow.
Good afternoon. As pioneers in the rotary combine market, we first introduced the Axial-Flow Combine back in 1977, and many of you saw it at the Washington Farm Progress Show. And since then, we've continued to listen to your needs regarding durability, performance, reliability, and serviceability on the Axial-Flow Combine. Hi, my name is Jerry Salzman, and if you wanted to sum up the Axial-Flow concept, you could do it very easily. Harvest more of what you grow, and along with that, ensure that the crop that you're harvesting is the highest possible quality. You know, for many years, people have asked manufacturers of combines, just make it simple. I don't have time to analyze this thing and go through college just learning how to run a combine. Just keep it simple. Keep the number of moving parts down and make sure it works. When you consider there's only one moving part in the entire threshing and separating system of the Axial-Flow Combine, frankly, it just doesn't get any simpler than that. The front half of the rotor obviously does the threshing. Repetitive, thorough, but yet gentle harvest action to ensure that even in the toughest crops, we get it threshed, but yet maintain a grain quality unmatched in the industry. The last half of the rotor does the balance of the separating. Centrifugal force, certainly much more efficient than gravity going through troublesome straw walkers. The important point is, as we make changes, it's still based on that initial single rotor concept, and it's here to stay, and it's going to be here in the future. We'd like to talk about 93 though. What have we listened to you on and delivered on in terms of improvements? For starters, let's talk about horsepower. For 1993, on all three models of Axial-Flow combines, we've increased the horsepower, starting with the 1644, moving from 160 to 180 horse. On the 1666 that Dan has over here, we've moved the horsepower from 190 to 215. And on the 1688, the big Axial-Flow, we've gone from 235 to 260. Now that's not just a fuel change. When you make a change in horsepower, you have to think about all the other complements around it. This includes changes in capacity of the radiators and the oil coolers. Let's talk about durability. On machines that typically see higher annual usage, a lot of hours, a lot of acres in any given year, and usually that's attributed to the larger machines, we've elected on the 1666 and the big 1688 to reduce the operating engine RPMs from 2,500 down to 2,200. So what? So what is we can operate that engine cooler, we have more fuel efficiency, and more importantly, the engine is going to last longer, especially now that we've made that move to another 20 to 25 horse. Another exciting change, and this change definitely comes within through our engineering efforts at Case International. We now have introduced standard equipment, a new cross-flow cleaning fan, which is patented. Now, if you take a look at the schematic over here, a lot of you will say, well, that looks like a squirrel cage fan. It is and it isn't. It's not a normal fan. It's a patented chevron blade fan that, number one, allows us to bring air in from the front and the top as well as the sides for maximum air input, and more importantly, deliver that air back into the cleaning area full width and full length. Now, how do we do it? The secret is in the patented chevron or angled blades. When that air comes into the sieve, it creates a vortex or a low pressure area inside the fan itself. It's open on the inside, and it wants to draw even more air in. So we have the maximum amount of air capacity available to deliver it to the rear. Those chevron blades allow the air, when it exits, again, to ensure not just air to the back, but also to the sides. And what's that give you? Even air distribution. It reduces the sensitivity when you change from crop to crop. Certainly on prior fans where you might have a tendency to get a couple of hot air spots. All of a sudden you set to those and you don't have enough air in the dead spot areas. Let's even that airflow out, and you can do it with the new cross-flow fan. Two other side benefits. Going back to those angled blades again. As the blades start turning and come in contact with that imaginary shear point, there's always a blade in contact with that shear point. The result, it's a lot quieter operation. You can really notice it in the cab. When you get back after the show's over with, we have a fan set up next to the combine. Ask them to turn it on. You'll notice how quiet that fan is. And the whole package operates with less horsepower requirements. Speaking of cleaning, and we hear you, several years ago, people said, gosh, I'd like to have some more cleaning capacity on the 1680. Okay, we lengthened the sieves, both the chaffer and shoes, some 13 inches. Next question is, when are you going to do it on the 44 and the 66? We've done it for 1993. A 26% improvement in cleaning area. Couple that with the new cross-flow cleaning fan. You got capacity match system. Cleaning to threshing to separating. You know, Rich mentioned a tradition started by gentlemen such as Mr. Case and Mr. McCormick. And what's interesting, it all had to do with harvesting, from the reaper to the threshing machine. And we're committed to carry that tradition forward with the Axial-Flow line. Now, as far as the future is concerned, you see an item on this machine that looks a little unfamiliar. We've started taking a look down the road as far as compaction is concerned, and we'd be interested in your comments. The header is not broken on this combine. I want to emphasize that. We have also, with the combine set up in back, a field tracking attachment mounted on it that was introduced at last year's Farm Progress Show. Again, in keeping with the idea of harvesting more of what you grow. And if you happen to grow your crops on irregular ground, hey, no problem. We're going to build a machine to adapt to those conditions. So if you're interested in good grain quality and harvesting the maximum amount of crop that you plant, you owe it to yourself. Take a look at the Axial-Flow. With that, we appreciate your time. I'd like to bring on Tom Stadmiller. It's got some interesting items to talk to you about on the Maxxum series tractors. Thank you.
Case IH offers a full line of tractors, from the 42 horsepower model 495 all the way up to the big 375 horsepower 9280 four-wheel drive model. These new tractors for Case IH now set the industry standard for performance, reliability, durability, and ownership cost. When it comes to tractors at Case IH, "We hear you" is more than just an advertising slogan. Hi, I'm Tom Stadmiller for J.I. Case, and welcome to the tractor portion of our program today. When we introduced the Maxxum tractor back in 1989, Case IH put the word progress back into farming with the 70 to 110 PTO horsepower tractor. And we've made a lot of improvements on the Maxxum tractor since then. These new Maxxum tractors today are available in 4 different horsepower ranges. We have an 80 horsepower model, a 90 horsepower model, a 100 horsepower model,
And the top of the line is this 112 PTO horsepower 5250. The Maxxum tractor line was really designed for the Iowa farmer. This tractor is rugged and heavy enough to do heavy tillage operations and even some 8-row equipment row crop applications, but at the same time is maneuverable enough and nimble enough to handle a loader in tight quarters. And when it comes to loader operation, there's really an exclusive Case IH feature that makes the Maxxum tractor ideally suited for loader application, and that's our power shuttle shift. With the flip of a lever right on the steering column, you can power shuttle this tractor from forward to reverse without using the master clutch. It improves loader operation and cycle time. And when it comes to master clutches, the master clutch in this tractor is a multi-disc wet clutch that provides long life, trouble-free operation without any adjustments. Maxxum tractors have two different types of transmissions available. You can get either a 16-speed synchro shift transmission or a 16-speed power shift transmission that's got 4 speed ranges with 4 power shifts in each speed range. You know, Maxxum tractors also come standard equipment with other big tractor features like PFC hydraulics for optimal hydraulic performance and efficiency. I encourage all of you to take the time today before you leave our lot and get the complete Maxxum We Hear You story. We want to put a Maxxum tractor in your operation and improve your efficiency and your performance on the bottom line. And now at this time, I'd like to introduce the real star of our show today, the new 7200 Series Magnum tractors. Please welcome the 7250 and Ron Morushita.
He hasn't run over anyone yet. Good morning, I'm Ron Morushita. In 1987, Case IH set a new standard of excellence by introducing the Magnum 7100 series. And since then, we've listened to you, your ideas and your suggestions on improving the Magnum. We've also focused on those things which you've told us were important to you in an ag tractor: dependability, durability, performance, and investment value. And ladies and gentlemen, today we're proud to introduce to you our next generation of Magnums, the 7200 Series Magnum. Now the 7200 series includes a lineup of 5 models, beginning with the 7210, going up to the 7250. Now each one is powered by an 8.3-liter CDC diesel engine. Each one is driven by a transmission that's incredibly reliable and durable, as proven by over 20 million hours of field experience. Now, there's more than that, though. There's more because we've added many new and exciting enhancements to the 7200 series. So let me just explain and describe a few of these to you. First of all, by sculpting the side panels that my lovely assistant Roger is pointing out, and modifying the steering stops, we've improved turning radius by up to 11%. That translates out to a turning radius as tight as 17 feet on the ground. You've also asked us to improve performance in the headlands. While steering in the headlands in MFD operation or mechanical front drive operation, and we heard you. We added an MFD multi-mode switch, which enables you to operate in full MFD or disengage during the turns. And that's done very easily. As you begin turning, you apply your brake, your MFD disengages. As you complete your turn, release your brake, your MFD engages again. In addition to that, in any mode, including the off mode, if you were to depress both brakes simultaneously, you would engage your MFD, giving you the advantage of four-wheel braking. Now the advantage there is if you're towing some heavy load such as a grain cart. In addition to that, we've made many enhancements to the drivetrain. And to give you a couple of examples, we've added 2 seals, which includes a dust wiper to the MFD hub, which eliminates contamination even in the dirtiest of condition. We've beefed up the MFD clutch by adding more clutch plates, going from 9 to 13. And all of the things we did with the drive line pointed to even better dependability than we had before, because all of this translates back into durability. We've taken technology one step higher with our exhaust system by relocating the muffler from under the hood and designing it into the exhaust stack, thereby resulting in 40% less back pressure in the exhaust system, resulting in temperature decrease at the exhaust valve by about 100 degrees. The benefit to you, that means you have longer exhaust valve life, longer turbo life, and as an added bonus, you have better accessibility to your engine components. Now let's step around to the rear of the tractor for a moment, because you'll see some yellow buttons as indicated in the picture. These buttons are the remote controls for the 3-point hitch, and this is the only tractor that has 2 sets, one on the left and one on the right, to make it as convenient as possible for you when you're attaching your implements. And lastly, we've loaded the cab with many new exciting enhancements. Some of those begin with, as the only manufacturer of an in-cab remote hydraulic flow control, we've made it even better. We've incorporated HFC 134A, which means it's an environmentally friendly refrigerant, in the 7200s, replacing the old Freon. We've also added an access panel at the rear of the tractor, making it easier to bring in your cables and your harness for your monitors. That's something that you've asked for. And finally, we made the AeroRide Comfort Master seat even more comfortable and even more convenient for you to make it comfortable for your needs. Folks, I think you'll agree after this brief overview of the 7200 series that we've listened to you, that we've taken a tractor that was an excellent tractor already, an award-winning tractor, and a field-proven tractor, and made some great enhancements, and we've made it that much better. And the result is the new Magnum 7200 series. And at this time, would you please welcome Kelly Kravig, Product Manager for 4-wheel drive tractors. Thank you.
Wasn't that an impressive turn right there? If I had to only use one word to sum up the Case IH 9250 row crop special, it would have to be flexibility. And that's what makes this tractor special. Hi, I'm Kelly Kravig, Product Manager for 4-wheel drive tractors, and this is one great tractor. What we have here is a 300 horsepower tractor that has an axle and wheel combination specifically designed for 30-inch row crop. So you can go out and do your tillage and seedbed preparation and turn right back around and plant and cultivate all with the same tractor. It's a real workhorse. Now the 9250 is ideally suited for 12, 16, or 24-row planters and equipment, but it can work equally well on a wide range of your farm operations. Now, what we have with this tractor is a very unique steerable front axle. What we can do is the tractor has a total of 58 degrees of steering in either direction. How we accomplish that is with the front axle we have 18 degrees of steering left or right plus 40 degrees of articulation. This gives the 9250 row crop special the tightest turning radius of any 4-wheel drive tractor in the business. A mere 12.2 feet to the tractor center line, and well within the parameters required for 12-row narrow operations. In fact, if you made a slight keyhole turn, we can even work a lot of 8-row narrow operations. Another unique advantage that this 18 degrees of front steering provides us with is that we can make in-row steering corrections while we're planting or cultivating without tail wag or hitch wobble. Now, have any of you guys ever seen a bad case of tail wag before? I think you probably have. Or have you ever experienced cultivator blight? This durable axle will allow you to minimize that. Now, if you look at the tractor right here, you'll see it's set up a little different. We have duals on the rear and singles on the front. And the tires that we're using are 18.4 by 42. The front tires are set at 120 inches. Now, in addition to that 18 degrees of steering, it does something else for us. It provides us with unmatched visibility down both sides of the tractors for planting and cultivating, especially when you're working in those rows. And once you're done planting and cultivating, we can take the tires, set them to the inner tread setting, pop the duals on, and you're ready for heavy tillage work. And we also have a second tire offering. We have a metric tire we call the 420 ADR46. That would be comparable to, let's say, a 16-946 tire in something you might be familiar with. What we can do with this metric tire is we can set the inside treads at 60 inches, the outer duals at 120 inches, so you can go out and plant, cultivate, and do your tillage work all with the same tire size and never have to make any adjustments. And even with that narrow tread setting, we still have in-row steering capabilities and can turn tight enough for 12-row narrow. Now, one of the things that you've been telling us is that you need more than just a heavy tillage tractor. You said you need a tractor that you can plant and cultivate and use for a wide variety of your farm operations. As I said earlier, flexibility is the key word, and we do hear you. Now, if you look at this tractor, you'll also notice that it has a very long wheelbase. In fact, it has a very impressive 137.5-inch wheelbase. This is the longest wheelbase of any row crop tractor in the business. Now, this wheelbase does several things for us. It gives us a very smooth ride in the field, but it has one other major advantage. That is stability. Stability is critical when you're handling heavy mounted implements, particularly 12 or 16-row cultivators. This tractor is set up to handle that job for you. If you were to look at the 9250 Row Crop Special as the total machine, we have the horsepower, the weight, the wheelbase, the turning radius, the stability, the hitch lift capacity, the PTO, the hydraulics. We feel this is one of the best values in the row crop market today. Now, at last year's Farm Progress Show, we introduced this as a concept vehicle. This year, the 9250 Row Crop Special is in production and available to make a profitable difference on farms like yours. So if you haven't checked into it, see your local Case IH dealer. Find out more about the 9250 Row Crop Special. And now, to wrap things up, once again, here's Rich Chrisman.
Thank you, Kelly. We've now had an opportunity to see 4 great machines that you could put on your farms today to make you more productive. And while meeting your needs of today is important to us, we understand that if we're going to be a leader tomorrow, we need to be working on your tomorrow's needs today. Think about the 7200 Series Magnum. It is the state-of-the-art tractor. It is the one that everybody else is trying to measure up to and some are trying to copy. Well, as we've talked to you about it, you said, yeah, it's state-of-the-art today, but what can you do for us tomorrow? So let's break a little new ground here. Let's put some progress back into the Farm Progress Show. Let's take a look at a tractor of the future. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the world premiere of MagnaTrac. think? As they said on the news last night, if Arnold Schwarzenegger were going to buy a tractor, that's the kind of tractor he'd buy. And why would he buy it? Well, think about it. Think about what you told us. You told us compaction's important to you. With the amount of track we can put on the ground here, it cuts soil compaction by 50 to 60% over a conventional tractor. What about tractive effort? With the way we've laid the track on the ground and the center point pivot, it makes sure there's uniform, constant weight distribution at all times, regardless of the loading on the tractor. Puts more tractive effort from the engine all the way to the ground. And what about flotation? It's outstanding. Less ridging in the field. More usable power when you get to the headlands. And when you turn, you don't have to be dragging another track around with you. Now, I was asked after a previous show, when? When can I get one of those on my farm? Well, the answer is not quite just yet. Why is that? Well, think about what you told us. You said compaction's important, traction's important, but also reliability and durability is important to us. And so as the saying goes, some people say, we will serve no wine before it's time. Well, we will deliver no tractor while testing is still a factor. So we're going to keep on testing on it to make sure it lives up to all your criteria before we introduce it. But we will keep you posted. Now at this point in the show, we'd like to bring back the full line of Case International equipment that we saw today. Now, is that a great looking line of equipment? Absolutely. Now, I'll tell you, while we're doing it, why don't we give a big round of applause for our drivers? This is 11 shows in a row they've missed me at this point in the show, and my kids, thank you. As you know, we've got a lot of other fine products from our company. Throughout the day today, we will also be doing product presentations on some of our planting, seeding equipment, hay and forage equipment, and for all those cotton farmers here in Iowa, we'll always talk about our cotton picker. Actually, we have some international guests with us, and that's a very important machine to them. Now, to give you some encouragement to go visit the other areas, when you leave here, our FFA assistants will give you a little brochure that looks like this, and inside of it is a simple little quiz. If you go around and fill this out, and then deposit it in the information booth in the inside. We'll have some drawings during the day, and you can win a lovely jacket such as Kelly is modeling for us today. Also, as you leave, the FFA assistants will give you a coupon. And this coupon is good for a MagnaTrac hat. Now, this hat will never be sold. It is a special edition only, and it's really here for two things. One is to thank you for spending some of your time with us today, and more importantly, as something that you can remember our commitment to your future. So with that, thank you again. Have a great show and a great harvest this fall. Thanks a lot.